Hey guys, and welcome back to the MK Kitz channel. And today we are going to do part 3 in this 3-part series where we are getting to learn, well, you guys are getting to learn about the pen names behind the books and what they're working on. So today we're going to be learning about Shelly Kitz. She is the middle grade children's chapter book author who has the books published. So she's got these 6 books in the Bugztopia series, which are also those books behind there on that shelf. And yeah, we're gonna let her introduce herself and all about her world and stuff. A little background information. So, we are an individual who suffers with dissociation. We have, I have no idea how many alters. We joke that there's like 20 of us. Not sure if that's true or not. Very easily could be true, or there could be more of us. But in our system, we are very creative, and typically we all enjoy writing or like producing something, and like writing's just kind of our happy place. And within our system there's lots of different writers, but the main 3 who are like dedicated to becoming authors, well, 3 forms that wanted to become authors. So there's Shelly, which I will let you get to know in a little bit. There is Grace, who's our YA contemporary Christian fiction author. Then there's Maris, who is a system within a system, if that makes sense. So there's multiple of Maris. They just come together to make the world itself. I think that's kind of all the background information I need to give you on. I'm going to let Shelly take over and let her explain to you her world, her box of things that she has, her plans and stuff for the future, and whatever else she feels like talking about. So let's get into it. Hi guys, my name is Shelly Kitz, and I am the author of the Bugztopia PD Series. And today I'm going to do an introduction to myself and to the world of Bugztopia. So let's get into this. First of all, I want to say so many different things, but I don't know how to word it exactly without making it sound weird. Like, I want to talk more about my history and stuff, but like, it's not right for this video. Anywho, Bugztopia. This book series was formed for our nephew. So at the age of 6 or 7 for him, he asked us about, he wanted a book series, and he wanted bugs. He wanted a book series about bugs. Now, if you can't tell by the character design, so here's Officer Renee and here's Officer Francis. They are insects. Every character in this book, so there's an Officer Bug, Officer Ryan, Chief Jewel, they're all insects. And this whole world, there's no humans, there are only insects. And my nephew wanted me to write him a book series about bugs, and at the age of 6, I was like, I feel like he was almost actually 5, but he was like, really young. I don't think he understood what he was asking. I think he knew what he was asking for, but like I don't think I understood what he was asking for, because he was like, "Oh, can you write me a book about bugs?" Because he knew I wrote books, and I didn't humor it at first. Later on, he kept asking for it, and I was at his house one day, and I was like, "Okay, you want to do this? Let's do this." I was kind of hoping to scare him out of it, but then as we talked about it, I got more invested in it. So that just resulted in us doing it. I'm right now a combination of Michelle and Shelly, because this is kind of our story to tell. But so what started, like, my nephew, he originally kind of wanted it more as a nonfiction book. We don't really write nonfiction. We like writing fiction, fantasy kind of stories. And that's kind of how, so that's why we kind of did play it off as first. But you know, as we engaged with him and was like, okay, let's have this conversation, and I was like, what kind of storyline would you like? And he was like, police officers. I don't think he said police officers, but he was like, I want detectives, I think, or something like that. I don't remember what he said exactly, but we were like, I really don't remember how it came about. But let's just say I was just like, we have to have some sort of storyline, you know? And he's like, detectives. Or like, somehow got into the detectives. I might have suggested it, or he did, I'm not sure. But he really liked the idea of being like police officers. And that's really how Bugztopia formed. Bugztopia, like, the name Bugztopia, I really got from, like, Zootopia. And I was like, well, I want a bug-inspired world. And I was like, Bugztopia, so it made sense. And then PD for police department. There are other cities in this world, like Insectopolis, kind of like no, that's not Monopoly. But I liked Insectopolis as a name. I've got Crawleyville, I've got Trippingville, I've got Creeping Town. Like, there's just, like, bug-inspired world, cities names. But yeah, so this world was inspired for my nephew, Every book so far has been dedicated to him, and even the characters inside the book. So Officer Francis is actually represented by my nephew. Not in everything he does, just the name is the representation. And then Officer Renee is of his little sister at the time, who was just about to be born. And that's just kind of how Officer Renee and Officer Francis got to be. Now, 3 years later, he has another sister. And so I have to write her into the story. I have her already set up, and I think book 4 or 5, I think, is when she comes in. I'm not 100% sure. She comes in later in the books, because I didn't know about her in the beginning. But I later put her in. He wants her to be a bigger part of the story. And I'm like, I can't just magically... Okay, sorry. I'm just complaining. But anyways, that is how the world got started. Officer Renee and Officer Francis are my niece and nephew. Later on, Officer May will be my other niece, and if my sister keeps having kids, they're just gonna have... I'm planning on writing a book series for each one of my nieces and nephews. I think if she has another one before the time of this... Well, this book series is gonna take a while, so... It's very possible I could get them all... I could write them in, but... I don't... There's a lot, man. Anywho, like I said, I'm planning on writing other book series for my nieces and nephews. Well, my nieces. The one that's Renee in this story, I've got an idea for a unicorn story, because what kid doesn't like unicorns? Like, little girls don't like unicorns, so it just makes sense. But that's kind of how Bugztopia got involved. I'm not planning on writing the unicorn story until Bugztopia is either done or my niece is asking for it. Currently, she's only like 3, so I got some time to kill. I hope. Not unless she's too smart for her own good and is, like, asking for it now. But so with the Bugztopia PD series, I write in these notebooks. Like, these are my notebooks that I write in. They're actually from the same brand. I think it's called Peter Popper Press, I think. This one's, I think, called Tree of Hearts, and this one's called Tree of Butterflies. But I really liked... I got this one from, like, Walmart, and I really enjoyed it. So I just bought this one off of Amazon when this one got full. It's pretty simple. Like, all I do really is put... Here, let me show you in this one, because that one doesn't have as many clips. I have, like... So this is draft, like, the page setup for 0 drafts. Now, I'm writing book 15 in the series, okay? I've got a lot of characters, and I keep coming up with more. I'm getting tired. I'm getting exhausted of character names. But anyways, so I have this basic setup where it's just 2 sticky notes, and I put the page count, well, chapter count, page count, word count, list it out. About 17 chapters per book, and about... The first draft, I would say, ends up being like 13,000 words long. And then after editing and stuff, it gets up to 20K. Roughly. 20K was the highest, I think. And then I will also do 6 drafts of editing. So I'll do drafts 2 and 3. And then the final one will be draft 4. We'll draft 4, 5, and then the final draft of me rereading it. Yeah, that's how many drafts. I do 6 drafts of these books, and the reason I am able to establish this is because obviously I have got books written in the series. I know what I'm doing at this point. Like, don't want to sound like I'm shaming Maris or Grace, but I'm like, I have a system pretty much to my writing, rather than just throwing stuff at the wall right now and hoping it sticks. I'm more established. I don't really know how I want to word it. I'm just here. But so we do 6 drafts of writing with it. Okay, so another little background information on Bugztopia. This was supposed to be originally a 26-book series, where each book was going to follow a different letter of the alphabet, all inspired by bugs. So the first book, The Attack on A&T Hill, was supposed to be the letter A, where it was like, A is for ant, you know? And that's how A&T Hill got its name. And then we were writing it, and we're pantsers, or discovery writers, and it just kind of kept evolving, and evolving, and evolving, into 6 books later, it'll be season 1, and then 6 extra books. No. 7 other books. No, 7. Yeah, 7 other books to make season 3. And then... I feel like there's more. 1 through 6. And 7 through 14. 7 through 14, so I think 8 books. No, I can't do math right now. 1 through 6, season 1. 7 through 14, season 2. Season 3 is 15 to whenever, and then multiple seasons. I should explain to you guys about the seasons. I don't even know really. Okay, So far, well, actually, I think this is how I'm going to distinguish each series. So, first of all, the seasons are going to be just cut up into colors. So, season 1 is the green season, season 2 is a yellow season, and season 3 is going to be a purple season. No rhyme or reason to the colors, and they're not seasons based on, like, the actual seasons of the year. They are more set up based on the characters that we are following. So, like, season 1, we're following Officer Renee and Officer Francis. Season 2, we're following Officer Bug and Officer Ryan. Season 3, we're following Miss Annette and Officer Wren. And, like, this is their whole complete story arc, if that makes sense. So, like, these 6 books are following Officer Renee and Officer Francis as they really get us started into the world of Bugztopia. And just, like, getting to meet some characters. Like, we meet one of the main villains. I'm just going to call her Q right now. She is an ant. She's an ant. And, like an ant, like an insect ant. And that is her story. Season 2, we will be following Officer Ryan and Officer Bug as they keep trying to stop the villain. The ant. And then season 3 is yet again really trying to stop this ant. The reason I'm, like, taking, like, over 15 books to finally stop this villain is because, like, the Bugztopia series is more like a mafia book for children. Like, they're called crime families in my stuff. Like, they kill those that oppose them, pretty much. They kidnap those that oppose them. Like, they do dark stuff to get rid of the people that are opposing them. Hence why this main villain, Q, or Ant, whatever I decide to call her, is taking so long to defeat. And in season 3, spoiler alert, there's going to be a mole in the system, and that's why it's taking so long to defeat her. Does that make sense? Anyways, I don't know. This world is so vast and so complicated. I partially am, like, a little intimidated by it because, like, there is so much to this world, and I'm a little freaked out. Because, like, it's just everlasting, and, like, our nephew wants us to add scorpions to it. And guess what? The end of all books is going to have a scorpion in it. Or the last season of books is going to have a scorpion in it. And so, yeah, it's going to be a long, in-depth, complicated story. And it's going to take, jokingly, 200 books to write. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm already on book 15. I don't know what this tone is right now. I'm just admitting defeat. Like, it's a long series. Yeah, and, like, to the point that it's so long and so many characters that I've officially taken out this notebook and I have started writing, so, like, right now I just got season 1, The Ant Plan. This is just what I'm titling the act 1. But then we've got, like, 3 pages worth of characters, all that we find from book 1. I don't really need, I think I'm going to also add, like, plot lines to this book about each plot line and story plot that is in this. But this will eventually have all X amount of books in it, written out, and stuff like that. Sorry. Talking about Bugztopia and how expansive it is, wipe me out. I'm going to come back later when I have more groundedness. I'll be back. Okay, halfway through the video, I have a switch of personalities. I am actually Shelly here. Like, I am the actual Shelly who wrote these books. Well, who has taken over this world. Before it was MK, who we didn't know was still around. But MK was the original first author that we've ever had in our system. He wrote the Believe series. He wrote the 80s series, which a few people have read the Believe series. We do have plans to maybe go back in the future and rewrite them. If we do that, we'll let you know. MK, like, so back in 2020, we were kind of fusing, like, we were just kind of falling apart because that was whenever we were, just moved out of our house, like, we had to move in with our brother. Life was falling apart, our mother had passed away, everything just fell apart, and now after 2.5 years, we've started regaining ourselves back, and that is when, like, during that, like, time whenever our mom passed away, MK passed away almost, but just that little part of us kind of got dormanted and, got shut away. I don't know why, it just got shut away. But now, like, I think since July of 2024, we've really regained ourselves as who we are. Like I said, I feel like I've kind of always been here, but I just haven't been as strong as, like, I am right now. But so I write the Bugztopia series. They talk about why I do it. But I'm going to kind of give you an more in-depth in-deep conversation about the seasons and also about our future plans, because we do have future plans for the next 2 months, next 2 years. So 2020, that's 2026. We have the beginning part of 2027 on it. So we're just gonna do a little introduction. So, well, not an introduction. We've already done an introduction. But so, as I said, we are dividing our books into seasons. So books 1 through 6, are season 1, which will eventually get put into an omnibus, which will be put into, which will have some extra scenes, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But books 1 through 6 will eventually be put into an omnibus and sold there. But season 1 is what we call the Ant Plan, which is basically just the start of the story. Like, I don't know how else to describe what the Bugztopia series, like these first 6 books are, except getting it started. So, books 1 through 3, we are learning about a bug named Mr. Ant. And we're kind of learning about, we're getting the idea of the setup of the vast scope of the Bugztopia world and the crime families that associate it. I think we talked about crime families in the last bit, but let's just sum it up by saying Bugztopia, in a general way, is kind of like the mafia. Like, the crime families are the mafia in Bugztopia. So, for little forewarning there, but like, you're not going to see anyone die. You get kidnapped, maybe bumps and bruises, but no one dies. I don't think. Haven't finished writing it. I don't think we're going to plan on anyone dying. And then books 4 through 6 are really us getting to learn, like, one of the main villains we're having, which is Queen Citrone. I didn't like how I said that right there. But Queen Citrone is the main villain for the first 3 seasons. We are currently writing book 15, which is mainly, like, this is her season, like, this is hopefully the season where we take her down, finally. But season 1, so these 6 books here, the green season, are the Ant Plan. This is where we're following Officer Renee and Officer Francis. Season 2 was following Officer Bug and Officer Ryan. They are books 7 through 14. So there's 8 books in there. And then I'm starting season 3, which is book 15 to whenever. I don't know. I haven't finished writing it. And I think we mentioned we're a pantser, so we don't really know. But yeah. So with the Bugztopia series, obviously this is our first official series that we're actually taking seriously. I could say seriously a lot, apparently. But like, this is really where, like, we're wanting to make a stand for ourselves here as an author, as a brand. We're taking a stand. And that is why we've started a second channel called Author Shelly. We haven't actually posted a video there yet, but if you're interested in checking that out, I will try to leave a link in the description or somewhere. But go check out Author Shelly. That's where I will be doing book readings, Q&As, maybe some live streams, just doing a lot of fun stuff, all about the Bugztopia series. But on this Chaotic Kids channel, we're just do drafting and stuff like that. But so, I kind of wanted to give you guys an idea on, like, the future for it, because, like, obviously we've got these 6 books here, which I made it sound like it was a butt statement, but these books are great. I'm just going to be re-releasing them, starting in May of 2025. So in May of 2025, I will be re-releasing these books, starting with book 1. It's going to have a whole new cover, whole new interior paging, like interior formatting. So instead of having these bars along the side, well, they'll still have some sort of bar, but they won't take up as much space. And it'll just have a little different formatting and stuff. That'll be book 1 will be done in May of book 1's already done. I just need to go print off some proof copies. But book 1 I will be re-releasing in May 20th of 2025. Let me pick up my books. Apparently, I can't pick them up anymore. Then every 2 weeks, I think it's 2 weeks. Yeah, every other week from that point on, the rest of the books will come out until August. Apparently I didn't write it. And then in August of 2026, I will be doing an omnibus where I would like to do a Kickstarter for it. A Kickstarter for the omnibus of itself, for the first 6 books in the season. And then hopefully, like, with that, I do plan on having extra little scenes written out too. I've got 1 written out. I just want to have like 3. But that's that. Sorry, I'm fading in and out again. Sorry. But so with the Bugztopia, I really don't know where I was at. But so once the omnibus gets released in August, we then will be starting the re-release. Well, not the re-release, starting the publishing of season 2. Season 2 is where we start with Officer Bug and Officer Ryan. This will take us to, like, so season 2 is going to be like Officer Bug and Officer Ryan's perspective from from 7 through 12. Books 13 and 14 are like the wrap up of the first 2 books, like getting us all, okay, Like, this is the wrap up. Everyone, here you go. But season 3, like I said, I'm currently writing it, so I'm not 100% sure. But we are going to get started into another city called Insectopolis, and we're going to uncover some more dark secrets that Bugztopia has and its neighboring cities. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. So also with this, okay, so since we want to restart and refinance ourselves as a publishing house, we're wanting to start a publishing house. So I think in February? No. Yeah, February, we're planning on starting an LLC called Magical Key Press, and that'll be where we house all of our books. I know Grace talks about possibly getting hers traditionally published. That's fine. But I think me and Maris are primarily going to do self-publishing just because that's how our worlds, I feel like, fit. But we'll be starting that in February. So then when we re-release them, we can have them all underneath one publishing house. We also are going to go wide from that point on. Currently we're only on Amazon, but we're not in Amazon Unlimited. So if you want to go check it out. It's on Amazon. They're quick reads. They're about 3.8 reading level for each book. I really do think, like, I have kids from the ages of 7. So, like, I think he's 7. I have a reader who's 7, and I think a reader who's, like, 12, all reading the books, and they've really enjoyed the book series so far. And then there's my nephew who's 10, who's really enjoying it as well. So there's plenty of kids who love the books. If you have a kid that's interested, check it out. Bugztopia PD, The Attack on A&T Hill, is where I recommend buying it first and checking it out there. Sorry for the plug. But so with the Bugztopia series, I really have plans to, like, make it big. So I talked about doing a Kickstarter for Bugztopia season, the omnibus. That might happen in August or maybe in July. I'm not really 100% sure. I need to talk to Disability because we are a disabled author. We just need to get our life kind of figured out and see if we can do it. And if we did, we have some extra swag items that we've got planned. So we made this notebook. Originally, it was supposed to be just for the original 4 kids that were reading our books. So our nephew, 2 of my friends' grandkids, and then another kid's grandkid. And I got these off of Vistaprint. They're just the 6 book covers, and then out of the back. But so if we do this omnibus, we're gonna have extra swag. So we've got this, we've got bookmarks, we got postcards. All of them will be signed and stuff. So we just got lots of plans for the future of Bugztopia, and for us for me at least, for the future. I think they briefly mentioned talking about our other nieces. Our one niece really likes unicorns and Disney princesses. Well, we can't really write a Disney princess book, you know? Like, we can't make one about Elsa without having Disney's rights, you know? But we can do unicorns and fun things like that. So we do have plans for something like that in the future, but our niece is only like 2 or 3, so it's hard to be like, oh, we're writing this for you whenever she doesn't know how to read. She doesn't understand what we're talking about, you know? But yeah, so I think I'm doing a good job of explaining. I don't know. Sorry, this video is really long. But with Bugztopia, like, if you want to see more about Bugztopia, like, you want to get book readings, you want to do, like, so in September, I'm planning on doing an event called Buzztember. That will happen on the author Shelly page, where I will do, like, more vlogs, like, actual taking you on the day of the life kind of stuff. But, like, it's all gonna be dedicated to the Bugztopia world. So, like, I don't know how to describe it, but, like, more dedicated to the world, where I will do, like, maybe some chit-chats with kids who've read the books, and, like, fun things like that. I really don't know how to describe it other than, like, just fun little things. But yeah, that's kind of all I gotta say. Maybe in the future I'll do another one of these to hopefully have me just grounded here. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it, and I will see you guys whenever we decide to have another weekly vlog. I think we might also dedicate our weekly vlogs to each author in our system. That's what Michelle's saying, is like having like a author Shelly, yeah. We have a Shelly, we're like a Shelly dedicated writing vlog, then a Maris dedicated writing vlog, and a Grace's dedicated writing vlog. Not sure, but that is possibly a plan. But yeah, I'm not really good at this ending of the videos. But that's all I have to say. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time, okay? Bye!